One day in the summer of 1953, a 30-year-old man named Sam Phillips was cleaning up his recording studio, which was located in a fast-growing city known for their vibrant music scene. Sam had just finished recording a church choir, and now he was getting ready for his next client. And so he was resetting all the equipment and cleaning up. But Sam didn't actually know who his next client would be or when they'd show up. Because Sam's recording studio was pretty unique. Because he was always on the hunt for new talent to sign, he had opened up a studio to anybody who wanted to come in at any time. All they had to do was show up, give him $4, and they could be recorded professionally. This did mean that a lot of times his clients were not very talented, but he felt like it gave him the biggest opportunity to cast the widest net to potentially find his next big star. So that day, Sam finished cleaning up the studio and resetting everything, and then Sam just sat down and waited, hoping that, another client would come through the door. And eventually, another client did. This young kid, he was 18 years old, he came strolling inside, he had a guitar slung over his shoulder. Sam had never seen him before, and right away he could tell the kid was pretty shy. And the guy came up to him and he just said, "Hey, I work as a truck driver, but I love to sing, I love to play the guitar as a hobby, and I just wanted to come in here and, record a couple of ballads for my mom." And so Sam, again, he took all kinds. He's like, "Absolutely, give me $4 and we can record these ballads." And so the kid handed over $4 and he went into the booth, and Sam's like, "All right, you're on." And Sam basically expected this kid to do what most other clients of his did, which was, they'd begin playing and be sort of like not that good at their instrument, and they'd sing off key, and, Sam just kind of sitting there listening to this terrible music, just waiting for it to end. But with this kid, it was different. Once he began strumming his guitar and singing, it was like he totally broke out of his shell. I mean, he was, at first glance, a very shy, sort of reserved guy, but in the booth, he was electric. He was amazing. And so Sam sat there listening to this kid record his ballads and was just so blown away by how talented he was. And then when it was all done, the kid said thank you. He took his recordings with him and he left. And then once he was gone, Sam just made a point to make a note about this kid that just said, "Good ballad singer, save." Basically, remember this guy because I think he's going to be something special. About a year later, in 1954, Sam was back in his recording studio and he was working with another client. It was this band, and they were trying to record some songs. But as they were playing, they decided that they were really lacking another vocalist to round out the sound. And so they asked Sam, like, "Hey, do you know anybody?" Sam's studio manager, who was in the room and overheard the request, immediately chimed in and said, "Hey, Sam, what about that 18-year-old ballad singer from last year? He was great. Maybe he could be the vocalist." And so Sam was like, "Yeah, I'll give him a call." So he called this young man, and he was like, "Yeah, I'll jump in there and record some vocals. That'd be great." So the young kid, the truck driving, beautiful ballad singing kid, came back to the studio. He hopped in the booth with this band, and they began playing together, and they sounded terrible. Now, the young man was still very much a great singer. Like, Sam could clearly hear his voice cutting through all the noise.